Happy Tuesday. I hope you've had a good day today. I hope we're going to have a good night tonight. We're going to open a case of Legacy Football. And it is, of course, a sealed 12-box case, but you guys know Panini does all that weird stuff. They put two 12-box cases in a bigger box, call it a master case, blah, blah, blah. So this is the back part of a master case, if you want to look at it that way. But either way, they're all sealed 12-box cases. So first up, we're going to go over a little bit of information. Starting with what you see on the screen right now. Feedback 100% automated. And really, that's just so you don't have to wait on me to get caught up on feedback, right? That way I can spend my time sorting and shipping and get your cards to you faster. Anytime that you leave positive feedback for me, you are instantly going to get the same in return. And of course, the other thing there is just simply a message to say thank you, because I do appreciate you being here, bidding, breaking, chatting, hanging out with me, all that kind of jazz. We are next taking a look at the breaks that are coming up in the days ahead. So tomorrow night, we're going to do a little memorabilia, a full-size autographed football helmet from Gold Rush, some Onyx Premier Gear baseball, that's an autographed memorabilia item of some sort, and then Finest Baseball comes out tomorrow, so we'll break a case of it tomorrow night as well. On Thursday, we're going to start at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, and open a half case of Tier 1 baseball. That's some loose boxes that I honestly forgot I had, and I found them recently and listed them when I found them. And we will also open another 12-box case of Legacy Football on Thursday night. Friday, once again, a 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific start time, because we've got two new products that come out on Friday of this week. It is 2019 Luminance Football from Panini, and then we've got 2019 Flash Football from Leaf. Saturday, Bowman Jumbo. It's the back half of a case we started the other day. It's a 4-box half case break. Paper base, does not ship to the teams. It has its own bidding category. On Sunday, once again, we'll start 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. We'll open Flash Football, a second case of that. And then we'll open another case of that high-end new Panini product, Leather and Lumber Baseball. We opened one of those whenever it came out, and then, I don't know, I never got around to listing it again. So, yeah, there you go. We'll open it Sunday. So here's what you need to know for tonight. We have just the one break. And, of course, I copied a little extra stuff in there. I didn't mean to grab that part, but I just meant to grab, what'd I hit? Hey, come on, man, what is going on? Get rid of that. There we go. Yeah, so that's all we need to have on there. It's a paid shipping break tonight, and no free shipping break scheduled, just the one this evening. Should be on the way to you about Friday. Now, if I can get it out to you faster than Friday, I will happily do so. But as it looks right now, I'm kind of expecting it to be out the door and on the way to you on Friday. Please remember, Veteran Base does not ship to the teams. It had its own bidding category tonight. The teams get autographed cards, relic cards, numbered cards, inserts, and parallels. It's literally just the plain old Veteran Base that doesn't go out to the teams. Of course, all that's detailed in the listing description as well. So it is a 12-box case of 2019 Legacy Football. This is a full inner case. It's break number 6. It ended tonight on eBay Tuesday night, the 4th of June. We've got, of course, team names on one side, our winning bidders across from each team on the opposite side. And what else? What else? I think that's it, right? Yeah, that's all we need to know about this product until we start getting it out of the boxes. You are going to notice the background's going to change up here and go out of focus a little bit, but don't sweat that, kids, because we're going to be able to still see our cards fine. Actually, we'll be able to see them a little better, even up nice and close that way. Hi, Rodney. How are you tonight? I don't know. Anthony might be in here later. He did send me a message, though, and ask me. He said, He said, hey, if the Raiders are unpaid tonight, will you let me know? And, of course, at the point that he sent the message, it had all already been paid. And I said, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, man. They're gone tonight. They're gone. So I don't know if he's going to come into chat or not, because it might make him sad, you know. So that happens sometimes. You miss out on a team, and then you go in and see them do really well, and it's like kind of depressing. I've done it myself. I used to do it a lot, and then I started like thinking, man, why am I putting myself through this? And didn't watch as many breaks that I got beat out on after that, although admittedly I still do sometimes. I'm trying to wedge the last of these out of this case here. Packed in there kind of tight. There we go. J-Bomb Sauce. Hello to you, J-Bomb Sauce. He says, good luck, everybody. Good luck to you as well. And you're asking if everybody paid for their teams tonight. There was one team that was unpaid the last time I looked, but it was somebody that is known to me, that has bid with me before, and it wasn't a very big dollar amount either. So I just decided to let it ride tonight, and we'll see how it shakes out. Every once in a while, I just don't feel like the disruption of doing it, of, you know, offering it up in chat, especially if it's not a high dollar item and or if it's somebody I know. So we're going to call it squared away. All right. If you haven't done a break of Legacy before, what you need to know is that we are looking for 2 autographs per box. There's lots of inserts, parallels, numbered cards, things of that nature that we're going to find throughout. In this first box, we'll take a little more time than we do in subsequent boxes to identify that stuff and get you some familiarity with how it's numbered and all that fun stuff. And then we'll go a little faster through remaining boxes after the first one. Rodney, somebody sniped you for the Raiders this time, so neither one of you guys got the Raiders. Man, okay, well, then, well, daggone, the Raiders were popular tonight. You do have a good rookie class, so no wonder. Or at least they look good. We never should say, I guess, whether or not they are till we actually see them on the field, them or anybody else. So one last little piece of info about this product. Our rookies, of course, happen to be in their collegiate uniforms. So what that means to you is that we will be sending them to their current NFL team. So if they were drafted, that's easy. Just goes to the team that drafted them. If they are an undrafted free agent and subsequently have signed with a team for rookie camp, mini camp, whatever, and they are still associated with that team, then it's going to go to that team. If they signed a deal with somebody and got cut and didn't ever sign with another team, it would still go to the last associated team. If they got cut from somewhere and then they sign a deal with a new team, then of course it would go to the new team. So that's kind of how that's going to work. These cards that look like this, those are the examples of our veteran base. So once again, just a reminder, veteran base does not ship to the teams. It had its own bidding spot. All of these fun little inserts and parallels like you see now do ship to the teams. So that's kind of a quick little overview of what's a veteran base and what isn't. When you see the red borders on a card that is paper, it will be numbered to 299. When we find red border on chrome, it will be numbered to 100. I'm going to stop on this one for a minute just to point something out. So that's Joe Flacco. You see him in his Ravens uniform, but you'll note that it correctly states the Broncos as his current team, has the traded date there, and shows the Broncos on the back. So that's a veteran base, so that particular card, that doesn't really matter, but my point is it's always going to go to the team shown on the card. So if we were to come across a Joe Flacco numbered card or autographed card or whatever, it would go to the Broncos, the team shown on the card, not the uniform the player is wearing. So there's a couple of guys in here that impacts. Flacco is one, and the other one is I can't think who the player is, but it's a former Raven, I want to say, that's now with the Cardinals. But anyway, that's kind of the deal as to how that works. J-Bomb Sauce, I did not watch the Women's World Series last night, but you said it was crazy, like crazy in a good way. UCLA 18. Oh my God. Oklahoma 2. Yeah, well, it sounds like just a beat down, brother. Sounds like somebody just got beat down in that game. Stanley Morgan Jr. Stanley Morgan Jr. is a Bengal. So Cincinnati Bengals draw first blood tonight in terms of our hits anyway. When you see yellow like this, those are numbered to 165. And that is true whether they are paper or chrome. Our second hit is for, believe it or not, the Raiders. I said the Ravens. We were talking about the Raiders, and then I had Joe Flacco on my brain. The Raiders is Trayvon Mullen Jr., and it is numbered to 50. So the Raiders coming out early tonight. This will be numbered to 100 because it is red and chrome. So all the red chrome, once again, are to 100. Oh, Rodney says that Antonio Brown is in here in his Steelers uniform as well. And of course, if it says, as long as it says the Raiders on the card, then yeah, it would absolutely go to the Raiders. It just entirely depends on what it says on the card. So that's an example of a prism. Those are not numbered, but you will find them throughout. The orange are numbered to 199. And what else? Of course, most of the AB stuff that we would talk about, and some of these other guys as well, are going to be in that veteran base, so it doesn't really matter because that's all one bidding category. But should we come across one that is numbered or autographed or whatever that would go out to the teams, that's more where it would come into play. Just since I happened to see that Flacco sitting there face up, it was just a good time to kind of point out that there are a few players in here with the traded designation on their card. Rodney's cursing over there because he didn't get the Raiders, and the Raiders already have a hit tonight. That is green to 100, Leighton Vander Esch for the Cowboys. Greens are always to 100. Those are base. I about put them in the wrong spot. That's another orange to 199. Preston Williams to the Dolphins. And that is box 1. So these other boxes, now that you're kind of aware of how it flows, we'll go through these a little bit faster. Oh, did I pull a red Antonio Brown? When did I pull it? Recently? Hopefully I sorted it right. Because I don't remember seeing a red Antonio Brown, period. So I hope I did sort it correctly. If I did not sort it correctly, Rodney, and it should be yours, and you don't get it, let me know, because that would mean I sent it to the Steelers. I hope I didn't do that. I wouldn't think that I would have done that, but I also don't specifically remember the card. But if that happened, of course, I would make it right for you. But hopefully it didn't. Oh, tonight you mean? Oh, okay. Well, tonight, then that's no problem. I was thinking you were talking about the other night, and I'm going, man, I do not remember seeing a red Antonio Brown when I sorted that. Oh, you had me worried. Okay. Tonight, that's another matter. That's all right, then. Tonight, we can catch it. Because I haven't sorted yet. But it makes me nervous when we talk about the other stuff. I was thinking, oh, crap. No, I thought you meant literally. I thought you meant the break the other night. There was a red Antonio Brown, and that's why I was starting to think, uh-oh, because I didn't remember sorting a red AB from the other night. I sorted that break today, actually. it's ready to go, other than I haven't printed the labels because I ran out of time to get the labels printed. So other than that, yeah, it was ready to go. So yeah, all right. So there we go. I think we're all on the same page now. Ben Ryan, hi Ben Ryan. We have only seen 2 autographs so far. One was the Bengals and one was the Raiders. We're only 1 box in. This is our 2nd box. So that was 165 for the Packers. And there's a red Dallas Cowboys. That is a green to 100. Who is that? Oh, Saquon Barkley. I was like going, who is that? Man, that goes to show you. You get the rookies on the brain, and then it just all goes from there. So that's just a base chrome, if you want to call it that. It doesn't refract, so it's not a prism, but it is a chrome parallel, of course. And then numbered to 100 is Derek Carr. Speaking of the Raiders. Oh, not at all. Not at all, Rodney. I'm the one who got confused. You didn't cause that. That's my poor caffeine-starved brain going, what's going on here? That was all me, my friend. Nothing for you to worry about. I'm the one who got confused on what we were talking about there. To 100, it is for the Falcons, Keith Brooking. Yeah, so I was just freaking out a little because I didn't remember sorting it. That's all. Thank God it wasn't the other night, so it's all good. But it can be tricky at times. I'm the same as you guys are. I mean, you know, you get used to seeing a certain player in a certain uniform, especially somebody like Flacco, who's been with the Ravens for so long, or Antonio Brown, who's been with the Steelers for so long. I mean, sometimes it is easy to just look at those and automatically think, oh, you know, Ravens, or oh, Steelers. It's to $2.99 for the 49ers. So yeah, it can be tough to remember sometimes. We have one coming up that I am not going to know. So let me see if I have it written down on my little cheat sheet here. Maybe I do, maybe I don't, but we're going to find out if I do. Oh, I do. Yay. Okay, so this guy, Karen Higdon, was an undrafted free agent who went to the Texans. Yeah, the Texans is what I have in my notes. So unless something has changed, Higdon here heads to the Houston Texans. Well, J Bomb Sauce, you're right. I mean, that's what we were talking about a little bit earlier. It's super hard if you watch the break after you lost out on a team, because then if the team hits, it's like, oh, it's the worst. Still $199 for the Jets. Because, you know, then you start thinking like, wow, if I had only bid, you know, $1 more or $5 more, in reality, you know, who knows how much more it would have taken, because we don't know what the other person's max bid was or is. But in your head, you know, you always think, oh, if I had bid $1 more. Well, there's Trayvon Mullen out a second time. So the Raiders already have 2 in the books. Both Mullins headed there to Oakland. So, yeah, that's how we're rolling tonight. A lot of Oakland at the moment. You said that Higdon has been killing it in camp. I did not know that. I had not really heard much about that kid. And that is the first time out of all the cases of this that we've done, I think that might be the first time I've pulled him out of Legacy. He's definitely not a guy who's, you know, coming out of here every case or anything like that. He's a rather infrequent autograph. Rodney, you feel like it's going to be the rainbow of Trayvon Mullen tonight? Well, I mean, you never know. That last one was a prism. And, of course, our first one was numbered to 50. I don't think this last one wasn't numbered, was it? I'm just looking at it again. No, it was a prism, but it wasn't numbered. Since you brought it up, I decided we should flip it again. Oh, you like Michigan as for your college sports? Okay. Well, you guys produce a lot of nice football players out of Michigan and Michigan State, and basketball too, actually. I guess a little more basketball. Well, actually, even currently, your basketball team's pretty good. I was thinking back to like a few years ago, but even the current team's actually quite good. In 16 Spectra, you hit the rainbow of Rod Streeter in 2 cases. You never know with some of these products, right? I mean, some of them, we've all opened those cases before where you pull 2 or 3 sets of duplicates for no apparent reason, and then you can open 10 more cases of the same product and not have that problem again, but you get that odds and ends case where it can be kind of brutal unless you're the person pulling all the duplicates. That's to 299 for the Cardinals. Prism but unnumbered Brooking again for the Falcons. But yeah, it's definitely, however they do, I don't know what's the word. I always want to say randomization, but that's not really the right word. I guess collation is probably really the technical term, because they're, I guess, technically collating probably the hits in with the base. But whatever feature or function they use to accomplish that, it's like sometimes it just seems like it gets out of whack, and that's when you start getting those weird cases. To 299 Joe Montana for the 49ers. And blue, this is our first blue of the night. Blue are numbered to 50, whether they are chrome or paper. Mac Wilson checks in for the Browns. Cleveland with our first blue of the night. Oh, Elixir. Hi, Elixir. Yeah, we didn't find your Darrell Henderson the other night, did we? So we need to find your Henderson tonight. We need to work our mojo and make that happen for you, Elixir. Still $199 Kansas City Chiefs and Spencer Ware. We'll see if we can't conjure him up for you this evening. Meanwhile, I have an Arizona Cardinal in my hand with Deonte Thompson. So there's Deonte, I believe, is our first autograph out of this box, right? What is this box? Number 3. I think that was the first autograph out of this box. To 165, that was Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. That's to 199 for the Vikings. And here's our hit. Oh, and a nice one. It is the Arizona Cardinals. We hit Kyler a couple of nights ago, numbered to 10, that had a gorgeous, gorgeous card. And we're going to hit Kyler again tonight. This one is not numbered, but that's all right. You've got that ink and the relic there for the Arizona Cardinals. That's who you're looking for, right? Indeed, indeed. Back-to-back Arizona Cardinals, both hits in that box headed their way. That Kyler, of course, the main attraction if you're looking for Arizona. That was 165 for the Browns, by the way. I think Eric Metcalf was who was on that card. You said you almost got your rainbow in contenders with Jacobs. You need the 1 of 1 and the 5 and the one numbered to 5. You're talking out of this year's contenders, right? Josh Jacobs, your Raiders rookie running back. That's pretty good, man. If you've rounded all of that up, other than the 1 of 1 and the card to 5, you're in pretty good shape. How long did it take you to find it all? I'm sure you didn't get it all in breaks. I'm sure you, well, I'm not sure, but I would guess that you probably got some in breaks and you probably got some from just purchasing them outright. I would imagine that was a rather lengthy endeavor. Chasing the rainbows almost always are. Well, I think anyway, they're usually a mix of breaks and buying them directly, but there are people who just buy them all. But as you know from past conversations that we've had about this, or at least some of you do know this, I always prefer to hit it to buying it. I don't know why. I could sometimes spend less money just buying it outright, but it's not the same. It's not at all the same for me. If I don't pull it myself, like in something I'm opening for my personal use, or pull it in somebody else's break, I want, you know, it has much more value to me than if I just buy it. I don't really know why. I don't know. I swear I'm not a gambling addict, but yet that's how I feel about it. There's Terrell Suggs. That's who I was talking about earlier. It's numbered to 165, and of course he's in his Ravens uniform, but correctly notes the Cardinals on the card. So that's another one we can add to our list here of players that will be shown in one uniform but headed to a different team. We have ourselves a rewards point card, and that little bad boy is going to sit right up there in our housekeeping area. We will give it out using random.org at the end of the break. We found one in the other 12-box case from this same master case as well, but that's the only time we found them. The last 12 box and this 12 box, which came out of, again, the same 24 box master. And I said in the last 12 box, oh, I bet that means we're going to get a really big hit somewhere. And then I guess we kind of didn't, and now we pull another one tonight, so maybe we're going to get a really big hit in here. I don't know, but anyway, there it is. So Emmanuel Hall, I have to look up because I don't remember it. I don't have to look it up. I just have to look on my little cheat sheet here. He was an undrafted free agent who signed with the Chicago Bears. So Emmanuel Hall is going to the Bears. Anthony. Hey, how are you, Anthony? You did show up tonight. He was looking for you earlier. Rodney was. Brad, the break is at 9:30. 9 Eastern. 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Now, many nights we do break at 9:30, but there are also several nights where we break at 9. And it depends on what I'm opening on any given night and how long it takes and whether it's a weeknight or a weekend and all that. So, you know, I always warn you guys ahead of time, several days out on that little list we put up that shows the the breaks that are coming up. And of course, it also says in the description, gives the time and the date and all that jazz as well. And while 9:30 is our usual time, we have been on a little run of 9 p.m. recently. So Brett Favre is numbered to 50 for the Green Bay Packers. The other thing that might help, just for your information, Brad, I mean, this is what I have been told, that when you subscribe, if you choose to do so, to my channel or any YouTube channel, when there's a way you can say you want to be notified when the channel goes live. So that way, if you think, that's to 165, Justice Hill Ravens. If you think you might not remember when the breaks, switch to an earlier time, or you just don't want to have to hassle with trying to remember it, that might be another way. And then it would pop up for you. Devin Singletary, I believe, is the Buffalo Bills. That is unnumbered prism. And Bring a Ruckus is here too. Hi, Bring a Ruckus. That's to 199 for the Packers. Anthony, you got outbid tonight by $1 for the Raiders. Dang, man. I know. Well, see, Rodney said he got outbid by a sniper tonight as well. So somebody was after your Raiders tonight and beat you both out, it sounds like. Number 225 for the Saints. You have Morten Andersen, the legendary kicker, Morten Andersen. Oh, Anthony says I messed it up tonight, that my eBay listing had the wrong time on it tonight. Oh, crap. Well, I'm sorry, guys. Then if that's the case, then that is my fault. Every once in a while, you have to list those individual teams, and I will forget to change the time on a team. But I did have it on our spreadsheet all week at 9, so I thought it was at 9. I had planned on it being at 9, and it sounds like I am the one that effed that up. So, guys and gals, I apologize if sounds like that might be on me. So, sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to catch up on the chat over here to see what else we need to know about. Brad, you were asking if any Cowboys came out. And now, as far as numbered stuff or parallels, I mean, it's always possible. But in terms of straight up hits, autographs, and relics, no. We have not seen any. None of those yet. Big Papa Truth is in the house as well. Big Papa says, you think DK Metcalf gets Rookie of the Year? Really? All right, we'll go for it. We'll take you at your word there. Rodney's arguing that it's going to be Josh Jacobs. I don't know, maybe. Anthony, yes, we have had Trayvon Mullen come out twice already. Bring a Ruckus, you are looking for some Redskins, so we will try to get that done. Brad, you want to know what box we're on? Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Well, hang on a minute. We have 2, 4, 6, 7 boxes. This is box number 8 remaining that is coming out of the wrappers right now. So that would mean that we have opened 4. Of course, you came in probably in that 4th box. So I'm going to guess that you missed maybe the first 3 and then caught us in box 4 is what I think has happened there. And see, Bring a Ruckus said the Redskins did have the correct time. So that's what I'm saying. I think somewhere along the way, guys, I must have had 1 or 2 teams where I forgot somehow to change the time, and I did get it changed on the others. So I really apologize. That is not a thing that normally happens with me. That is super unusual for me to mess that up. So again, you have my sincere apologies. That's Flacco once again for the Broncos. It's unnumbered, but it is a prism. And that is to 299. That's Clellan Ferrell for the Raiders. And the Packers, Jamal Williams with an autograph coming out for a current player instead of a rookie for a little change of pace there. The other thing I will do for you, Brad, and anybody else who maybe you had a situation where it was one of the handful of teams where apparently I didn't get the time changed in it, I will post this break as soon as we finish up, okay? It's to $2.99 Patriots. And then however long YouTube takes to get it processed and actually available for viewing, I think can vary. But in general, I would say it would be a couple hours at the least, or at the most, I mean, before it would be available. So I'll do that as quickly as I can. How about Jarrett Stidham to 35 coming out for the Patriots? Possibly your quarterback of the future? Maybe. Possibly. Like, I don't know. But we'll give it a go. See if he manages to supplant Tom Brady at some point in the future. It's to $1.99 for the Steelers. Papa Truth, you bought a Haskins Murray dual autograph to 15 and it's lost in the mail? Oh my God. That's still $1.99. When you say lost in the mail, like you just mean it hasn't moved in several days, or you mean it shows delivered and it didn't show up to you? Because sometimes they can like sit for longer than you think they should, but they will eventually show up. And I have had stuff get terribly misrouted before that will eventually show up. Like I had something going, this is a couple of years ago, but it was at the holidays, and I had something shipping to California, and somehow the people at the post office apparently sorted it to Canada. So it got sent all the way up to Canada, and then someone up there found the mistake and turned around and sent it back down to the U.S. where it started on its journey again. So that one took a few weeks to get delivered. And not too awfully long ago, I had one going to, I don't remember if it was Illinois or Indiana, but one of the neighboring states. And it somehow ended up in Puerto Rico before eventually getting where it needed to go. Numbered to 50, Lawrence Taylor, little LT for the Giants to 50. So it is possible that it's maybe still, floating around out there. At the very least, I hope the person who shipped it to you has it insured in case it is gone. That's to $165 for the Panthers. At least that would give you some recourse to cover your costs anyway. And this is numbered to 50. It is Bryce Love for the Redskins. So Washington's at least getting the mojo started. The flow is starting tonight for the Redskins. And I am trying here to catch up. I know I'm behind on chat, but I'm trying to catch up on you guys here. Dang, Big Papa Truth, you hit a $2,000 scratch-off lottery ticket on Saturday? Dang, man. You are living right. I like that. I think the biggest scratch-off I've ever hit was probably, $50 or something. Yeah, that's not been my luck with scratch-off lottery tickets, that's for sure. You guys are talking about T.J. Hawkinson. Listen, I like that kid. Both T.J. Hawkinson and Noah Fant out of Iowa, both tight ends. T.J., of course, went first to the Lions, and Noah went later to the Broncos. But both of those kids are excellent players. I could see Hawkinson maybe ending up in contention for a Rookie of the Year. I could see that. It might. And hang on one second here. All right, so you said, yeah, you said they're training quarterbacks of the future in New England, but Brady's going to play till he's 60. Feels like it, doesn't it? I mean, you guys just train them, get them right, and then trade them off or ship them off or whatever. Okay, that's what I was going to ask you, Big Papa Truth, that ask you if you had been to your local branch, because they can GPS, there's a geotag anytime they scan a package as delivered that will show exactly where it was when they delivered it. So you said they did show it scanned to your mailbox, but then it's not there. I wonder if somebody stole it out of your mailbox, if somebody was like watching, you know, for the postman, saw a package and snagged it or something. We've had porch pirates in my area for sure. Around Christmas we caught a bunch of them, actually, a couple different groups of kids. It's to $2.99 for the Packers. You know, they weren't taking them out of mailboxes, but they were taking them right off of people's porches as they were delivered. To 100 for the boys, that is Emmitt Smith. So, yeah, man, gosh, that is, like, not cool. Maybe the person had it insured, though, I hope. Well, Anthony, you said you had to change the way that you write up some of your packages so your stuff goes to where it should, like Canada or California and not Canada. But honestly, they just don't read them and pay attention half the time. It's the people in the back end that missort it. That is my man, Benny Snell, baby. Now, you know I went to the University of Kentucky, so I'm a big Benny Snell fan. And he went to the Pittsburgh Steelers, so now you know I love it even more. That one is numbered to 50. So if you've got the Steelers tonight, I'm a little bit jealous. Just a little bit jealous. That is kind of a nice hit, in my opinion. I think Benny Snell, I know I'm biased. I get it. I definitely am. I freely admit it. But I think Benny Snell's going to be pretty good. And if they do running back by committee in Pittsburgh, he's going to get his yards. So, we'll see. And this is numbered 250 as well. And that is one Adam Vinatieri for the Colts. We're all about honoring the kickers in this product, aren't we? A lot of kickers in here. Fair amount, anyway. Numbered to 100, Juju Smith-Schuster, Pittsburgh Steelers. And here come the Browns with a hit for Eric Metcalf. And the Browns with a nice little sig there. Oh, you think that the Redskins are going to be 8-8? Well, it's hard to say what's going to happen with the Redskins, honestly. I mean, let's face it, it's a little bit of a project up there. They've had some personnel upheaval, QB especially, obviously. Alex going down with a broken leg, his backup going down with a broken leg. That's still 100, Julio Jones, Falcons. They've got Dwayne Haskins up there, but he's got to learn the system. I mean, could go either way. Hard to say on that one. To 165, Devin White, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I have a friend who is a big Redskins fan. I mean, like, she's as big a fan for the Redskins as I am for the Steelers. So she kind of always thinks that the Redskins are, you know, going to be Super Bowl contenders every year, kind of like I feel about my Steelers. That's to 165, Jamal Adams for the Jets. And one of these years, she's going to be right. One of these years, maybe my Steelers will eventually get back there too. Eventually. Maybe. I don't know, though. Should have been there last 2 or 3 years and we don't make it. So what are you going to do? Bring it to Ruckus. What did you say? Do I know why Benny Snell dropped? Do you mean in the draft? Oh, I don't really think he dropped in the draft. I think he went about where I was expecting him to go. I mean, he was never considered the top running back in the class. For one thing, he's a little bit undersized. So that alone means you're going to have some questions about his durability probably. And of course also means he's not going to be, an every down kind of guy. But honestly, he was drafted about where I thought he would be. I didn't think he would go really particularly higher than he did, or even particularly expect him to. So, but when it comes to running backs and even wide receivers, historically, you can find some really good value on both of those positions well into the draft, particularly running back. But those don't have to be day one picks to be good, effective, even Pro Bowl, All-Star kind of picks. So I'm not too worried about that, and I think they gave him decent money, so should be all good down there. You say the Redskins 8-8 is a best case scenario. You think it'll be 7-9, and the Vegas line is 6.5. I think it's too much of a wild card. I just don't think at this point. You got to get a look at them to know what in the heck's going to be going on up there. So, I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. We'll find out how it goes. My Steelers may be the ones that are 8-8. I don't know. It's really going to be tough to kind of figure out where we're going to land too. We've got a lot of moving pieces that are new and changed up. This one is numbered 2, a big booming 25. Deonte Thompson adds to the riches for the Arizona Cardinals. You project it's going to be Patriots versus Saints. Maybe. Every year I keep thinking the Patriots surely won't make it back next year. I say the same thing about the Golden State Warriors. You see where it gets me on both counts. Numbered to 35, Tony Siragusa for the Ravens. So are we possibly maybe going to see, if we see some others numbered to 35? One of you enlightened me the other night that that's technically a hot box by Panini's definition if we find several of them numbered to 35 in here. So maybe that's going to be the case. Meanwhile, that is an unnumbered prism, Myles Gaskin for the Dolphins. Numbered to 100, that's Pharrell for, of course, the Raiders. The Browns have Eric Metcalf. That's a prism, but it's not going to be numbered because it's just the base silver color. N'Keal Harry is coming up next, so that's Patriot time again. Already hit the nice Stidham earlier, and now you can add N'Keal Harry to go along with it. If you've got New England tonight, of course. And Kirk Cousins for the Vikings, numbered 235. Minnesota A. Yeah, Myles Gaskin comes out this time as an autograph, and it is, of course, once again, he is a Dolphin, an undrafted free agent, I believe, that ended up with the Dolphins. It is numbered to 35. So that's 3 we found to 35 out of our little hot box here thus far. Only one of them autographed, but still, we'll take it, right? Any little extra that they want to give us, we will gladly accept. Keenan Allen and the Chargers also to 35. That is Drew Lock, unnumbered, Broncos. He was not a prism either, but I flipped him. I don't know why. Out of habit, I guess. That is a prism, but it is still not going to be numbered. It's the Titans. Bear with me here for a second, please. I need to rearrange a few things on my sorting table here to make sure that everything has a nice, safe little home. I don't like my stacks to get very high over there. Big Papa Truth said some of the hot boxes have a third autograph. You hit a Dwayne Haskins to 35 out of 1. Nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, you never know what Panini's going to do with some of this stuff. They're kind of vague sometimes about what you can expect, but they show up here and there anyway. So other than what we're doing tonight, we will have 2 more legacy breaks in total. One of them is already listed, and we'll be doing it in a couple of nights. And then there'll be one more 12-box case behind that one, which I'll probably do somewhere about this time next week, in this sort of kind of general time frame of next week. But obviously we've got another one yet this week before we have to worry about that one. But the point of the matter is there are only 2 more of these to go, because we'll start moving in with luminance and working more with it for the rest of the month until we get to Elite, which, unless Panini changes the date, as it currently stands, should come out right around the end of June. I think June 24th or something might have been the last date I saw for Elite. But they could have already moved it, or they could still move it. So don't totally, hold me to that. Oh, Rodney, man. You're rubbing it in about the Jacobs to 35. Oh, poor Anthony. Oh, that's so sad. Brad, right now I don't have any more definitive baseball, I'm sorry to say. I was expecting to get a bit more than I did get, and there was some, apparently according to my distributor, there was some mix-up with it. And even though they told me back in January that I was getting a couple of cases of it, then they claimed that that was a mistake and blah, blah, blah. So in the meantime, I thought I was getting it, and I hadn't tracked down any other. I didn't find out until like a couple days before it was supposed to release that this was what they were claiming to have happened. So by then it was too late for me to track down anymore, except at a hugely inflated price. So sadly, I guess that's going to be it for this year, unless I get lucky and find one somewhere. To $199 Deebo Samuel 49ers. I mean, find one at a reasonable price, of course. The Rams to $199. Because, yeah, I love definitive, and I expected us to have a little more of it than we did, but there you go. Not much we can do about it. Mark Gastineau out for the Jets. It's a nice little throwback hit for the Jets. And it looks like we have another autograph right behind it. So back-to-back autographs there. Tyree Jackson. And Tyree Jackson is a Bill. I can't remember if he was undrafted free agent or drafted by the Bills, but he is a Bill regardless of how he got there. Had to think about him a minute, but yeah, he's a Bill. That is numbered to 100 is Michael Bennett. This is another example. He's in his Eagles uniform, clearly in Patriots written on the card front and back. So Michael Bennett headed to the Patriots. Just one of a handful of guys in here that have that traded designation on their card. This is numbered to 100 for the Green Bay Packers, Paul Hornung. Cool little hit for the Pack. You have, Rodney, you have 27 autographs for the Raiders rookie class, or just for the one player for Jacobs. It's to 165, Hakeem Butler, Arizona Cardinals. Either way, that's a pretty impressive number in general, because we're early in the season, so you've been hustling it, man. Oh, that's a good strategy. You buy them early and sell them when the season starts. Yeah, you probably do make some good money on some of that. To 100, that is Suggs for the Cardinals. It's a great time of year if you're looking to buy early on what I call the unheralded guys. It's to $2.99, Melvin Gordon and the Chargers. You know, somebody you've got your eye on that you think is going to be really good that maybe is lost in the shadow of, you know, a Kyler Murray or a Dwayne Haskins or something like that. And you can, you're right, pick them up pre-season at a pretty good little price and then wait for them to show up on the field, and I should say show out on the field, and then flip them for profit is not a bad strategy. Big Papa Truth has 5 of the 10 Riley Ridleys from Contenders. Nice. That's nothing to sneeze about either. Oh, and Anthony's got a bunch of, he's got some Abram autos and some Jacobs Prism autographs. Red, white, and blue Prism. He's got Pharrell, Mullen. So you've been doing pretty well, too. You got the 1-of-1 Mullen printing plate. Very nice. Oh, Rodney, you have 45 for the whole Raiders rookie class. The 20 whatever, 7 or so is just for Josh Jacobs. Nice. That's what I should be doing for some of the players that I like this year. But, I mean, I really like Josh Allen, but it's, you know, it's hard to make money on the defensive players. But yeah, it's only every once in a while do you kind of strike gold. You know, your J.J. Watts and people like that who kind of have an outsized personality to go along with their talent. Sometimes will command a little more money on the defensive side of the ball, but it's definitely harder to make a lot of money on that side of the ball. But I do love my little Josh Allen, who went, of course, to the Jags. Also from the University of Kentucky. That is to 299 for the Ravens, Lamar Jackson. I see one coming up to 25. And that's Alejandro Villanueva to 25 for my Pittsburgh Steelers. Dealers. Oh, yeah, you know, you guys are right. Someone said they don't have many card shops left in their area, and then, you know, the general consensus there in chat is they're kind of going the way of the record album. I mean, they kind of are. It's extremely hard to find local card shops in a lot of areas. We still have one. The gentleman who had owned it since the time it opened 25 or so years ago sold it late last year, and had he not sold it, it was going to be closed. But someone else came in and bought it who was like a big like not Pokemon, but there's another one of those games, card games that I can't think of that they're real big in. Gardner Minshew comes out for the Jags, a little QB that I've heard some good things about. So they came in for the purposes of, I guess, getting some sports cards to go with their other like Pokemon type cards. It's to $199, and who is that? Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence is a Giant, I do believe. It's to $199, Drew Brees and the Saints. So there are, you know, some places who survive, I think, by doing that, bringing in those other cards to go along with the sports cards. And, of course, the places that do breaks, because then they can turn the volume and keep the doors open. It's to $299. That is Josh Jacobs for the Raiders. But the guy that owned our store, he was, you know, he's an old school kind of guy. He had no interest in doing breaks. He didn't want to get involved in any of that. And over time, you know, he started having more trouble getting products because he wasn't selling through enough to get a good allocation. And then because he couldn't get a good allocation, you can't sell enough to your customers. And it just kind of went downhill. For the Rams, that is Talib. And I think that's happened to, honestly, a lot of local card shops. Breaking has been kind of a blessing and a curse to them in many ways, it seems. All right, that is numbered to 100, and it is David Montgomery for the Bears. But it is sad to see the local shops go out of business, because it's nice to be able to go in and hold it in your hand and just buy a pack of cards or a box of cards or whatever. But I don't think it's going to go that way anymore. Numbered to 25 for the Kansas City Chiefs, Travis Kelce. But hey, you never know. Some of them will hang on anyway. You said you got your son collecting at the age of 5, and he has nearly every WWE action figure ever made. That's awesome, man. I mean, I come from a family of collectors. My mom, my dad, my sister, myself, we all collect. And as far back as I can remember, each of us always, you know, there's something we collect. Many times there might be a few different things we collect, but I definitely came by it honestly. It's genetic for me, I think. Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, that's those other cards, but it's still not even just them. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, but there's a whole other one that's even besides those that I can't think of the name of. But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is one of them. Magic the Gathering, that's it, Rodney. That's the one. Yeah. They do all of those kinds of things. The people that bought my local card shop. And they're supposedly the largest dealer in the United States for one of them, either Pokemon or Magic the Gathering. They've got, not here in my town, but in a town about 45 minutes away, they apparently have some gigantic warehouse where they have all of these Pokemon cards and such, and I guess Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! And whatever. And I gather they have an online presence, and that's where they mostly make their money. But then they bought this card shop thinking that could give them a foothold into the sports card business. So, I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Havica is here. How are you? You said you hear some Raider wishing, so you guess they must be doing okay. Yes, you are doing okay with your Raiders. You are. And you do have a couple of jealous guys in here wondering how they let you have the Raiders. So for sure, you're hanging in there all right tonight. Old Hickory is here. Hi, Old Hickory. I do not think we have had any Broncos autographs that I remember anyway. We may have had some numbered cards and things like that, because I don't really retain that kind of ever. That is to 100 Devin White for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I don't remember any Broncos autographs off the top of my head. We will, however, recap it at the end of the break. So you'll get a chance to see all the autograph and relic hits again at that point. The Seahawks, DK Metcalf. You guys were talking about him earlier. We had some DK Metcalf fans in the house. And if you have the Seahawks tonight, there is your man. He's a guy that didn't go as high in the draft as people expected. Number to 100, Marcus Mariota, Tennessee Titans. Digimon. Yeah, that's to 299. Honestly, I haven't been back in that store since they bought it. And I should. I know that I should. I used to, the old owner used to help me out with some things. It's to 199. He would order the expensive stuff, right? So like, and not that he didn't sell in his store. So like National Treasures and Definitive and things like that. He would order those for me because it would help his numbers for the year, and his allocation would look better as a result. But he didn't sell that high-end stuff in his store, so he was happy to just order it for me and then let me buy it from him at close to the regular pre-order price, pretty close to it, to 165, Derek Carr and the Raiders. But the new people, when they came in, said they were going to be breaking themselves. To 299, the Panthers, Cam Newton. And so I just kind of, I don't know, I just didn't go back. Plus, I don't want to see it all full of like Magic the Gathering and all that stuff. I want to remember it fondly as a sports card store. Is it that bad? Kind of. I need to go in there. I do. Devin White, Tampa Bay Buccaneers autograph. Because they've been there since, what, like November or December of last year. So, yeah, they've been in there like 6 months or so. And I haven't been in there. I should do. I should go over there and see what it looks like. Have to do it sometime anyway. That is numbered. It almost got by me. Numbered to 50 for the Cowboys. It is Thomas Hollywood Henderson. That's a prism, but it's not going to be numbered. It's Daniel Jones, of course, for the Giants. His autograph has been surprisingly elusive in this particular product. Really have not seen him coming out with a great deal of frequency anyway. Oh, Rodney, you do Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's huge, you said? So when you say you do Yu-Gi-Oh!, you mean like you collect it, or you break it, or you sell it, or like, I don't know anything about it. If it's the kind of thing you break, oh Lord, I don't have time to break anything else. I mean, between all the stuff they put out these days, baseball, basketball, and football, I'm constantly with a backlog of stuff. So there is no way I could add anything else in. I toyed with the idea of adding Star Wars in, and then ultimately didn't do it. Brad, you still looking for some Dallas Cowboys? We need to get your mojo going for that. I know we still need to have some mojo going for a few people tonight. We haven't hit everybody's wish list, that's for sure. You play it. Okay, I don't even know how you play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, is it fun? Does it take a lot of time? Is it a thing you play in person, or do you play it online? Like, I literally know nothing about it at all. Anthony says he duels, to which Rodney admits he does duel. So anything that has the word dueling in it, well, that sounds like fun. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. We are on our next to last box at the moment. Always takes a little while for products like this, mainly just because of the sheer volume of packs that have to be opened. That's what takes, honestly, the most time. It's to 165, Marquise Hollywood Brown, Baltimore Ravens. Oh, well, it sounds very flexible. You can play in person or online, and it can go really fast, or it can take a long time. So, all right, well, that's kind of cool. To 199 for the Buffalo Bills. Numbered to 100 for the Bengals. That is Ickey Woods. I'm seeing him a lot in this set, both as an insert and occasionally as an autograph. Just in general, we've had some kind of fun throwback stuff in here along the way. Robert Smith makes an appearance for the Vikings. So there's your Robert Smith autograph headed to Minnesota. Here's another one to 50. And that, once again, is my man Benny Snell from the University of Kentucky Wildcats, headed to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number to 100 for the Rams, it is Jack Youngblood. I see an autograph coming up for the Eagles. A little love for Philly. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside for Philadelphia. Rodney, you said you beat a guy in 2 moves and you start with 2,000 life points. So that must mean that normally it takes a lot more than 2 moves to beat somebody. I'm going to guess. So you must have, like, blown him up with a bomb or something. If you I don't know how you play, so I don't know if there are bombs in it or how you beat somebody, but it sounds like however you beat them, you got him worse than most people, is what it sounds like to me. The Bears and Khalil Mack, that's green to 100. To 165 for the Saints, Alvin Kamara. All right, we are officially headed into the last box. So you know what time it is. It is last box mojo time. We've got to collectively work our mojo here and try our best to pull out the heat, pull out the fire. Hope we can fill some spots on a couple of your wish lists anyway. And of course we do have that rewards point card we'll be giving away as well at the end for 600 rewards points. Oh, so the way you play the game by just it's a draw of cards? You just draw cards out and you randomly like get something that either helps you or hurts you, I guess? Alright. I know, J-Bomb Sauce, we do need to see 2 big hits, don't we? I mean, we hit the Kyler Murray, which is nice, but with that rewards point in here and the one in the other 12-box case, I was kind of thinking we were going to bust the bank on one of them, but so far, maybe not. Although Kyler Murray's definitely worth some money for the Cardinals. Alrighty, we have for the 49ers, Roger Craig. How about that for a little throwback ink for the Niners? That one did have an especially significant amount of curvature to it, I noticed. I'm sure everyone kind of knows how that works, but basically any of these cards with that chrome coating, Gronk to 165, have a tendency to curve up a little bit once you open the pack and they're out of the compression. Whatever that coating is just gives them a little bit of a curvature. Some products are worse than others, and some individual cards within a product can be worse than other cards in the same product. That Roger Craig in particular has a lot of curvature to it. Of course, it's going to go in a top loader, and that will largely flatten it out before you get it. But if you take it out of the top loader, it's going to just bow back up again, most likely. The hazard of making them all pretty and sparkly. Brad says he thinks Kyler Murray's going to be a bust. Ooh, bold. Sticking your neck out there on that one, Brad. It's to $2.99 for the Bears. To $2.99 T.J. Hawkinson, Lions. I do not think he'll be a bust. I think he'll be somewhat like Pat Mahomes, but I don't think there will be another exactly like Pat Mahomes. Well, first of all, I love that kid. I love watching Pat Mahomes play. So, you know, there's that. But it's to $2.99 for the Rams, Jared Goff. I think this kid's in the same vein, but not quite as talented as him. At least that's how I'm viewing it. Daniel Jones, number to 25, comes out for the Giants. But I don't really think he'll be a bust. But you never know what will happen on any given day. Numbered to 100, Kansas City Chiefs. Speaking of Pat Mahomes. To 199, James Conner and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And our last out is a Preston Williams, undrafted free agent. The best I recalled, end up signing with the Dolphins. So the last autograph we see heads to Miami. Now we're going to recap some of our lower numbered stuff and our autograph things. So we're not going to, recap all the really super high numbered stuff, but we will recap the lower numbered things, all of our hits. But before we do either one of those things, we have this little dealio to give away. So a 600-point Panini Rewards card that showed up in place of a hit in one of our boxes. So here's how this works. I'm going to simply copy all of our team names here from the spreadsheet, and then we're going to drop those in over at random.org. And it works like this. Anytime I have a list of 10 or more, we do random one single time, and whoever ends up on top takes it home. If we were doing a list of 9 or fewer, we would do random 3 times, and only the third random would count. But obviously, we're only going to have to do it once here. And I'm going to scroll through, and you can see that all of the teams were copied and pasted in here as they should be. Veteran base was its own bidding spot, so it's in there as well. And good luck, everyone. How are we coming up? To the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the Jags are taking home 600 Panini Rewards points tonight. Now we can recap it. You said, you say you think he's not even close to Pat Mahomes. Maybe, we'll see. And Rodney says he's going to be worse than Ryan Leaf. Wow. Now that is really bold, Rodney. I'm going to have to remember that one. I'm going to have to remember that. Worse than Ryan Leaf. I mean, my goodness. Have you watched the kid play? I mean, the kid's pretty good. I know it has to translate to the NFL, but I mean, the kid's pretty good. 600 points awarded to the Jags using random.org. Daniel Jones came out for the Giants, numbered to 25. Numbered to 50, that's Benny Snell for the Patriots. Numbered to 50, Thomas Hollywood Henderson for the Cowboys. Numbered to 25, Travis Kelce, Kansas City Chiefs. To 25 for the Steelers, Villanueva. Numbered to 35. I was right the first time. It's Keenan Allen and the Chargers. To 35, Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. Numbered to 35, Tony Siragusa for the Raiders. Deonte Thompson to 25 for the Arizona Cardinals. Numbered to 50, Vinatieri for the Colts. Numbered to 50, Bryce Love and the Redskins. Numbered to 50, Lawrence Taylor and the Giants. To 25 for the Saints, you have Morten Andersen. To 50 for the Packers, it's Brett Favre. And then Mac Wilson for the Browns to 50. So that's some of our lower numbered stuff that doesn't have an autograph attached. Obviously, we're not recapping all that higher numbered stuff. Okay. So for the Rams, it is Talib. Then you have Gardner Minshew that came out for the Jags. That's for the Bills, Tyree Jackson. Mark Gastineau heads to the Mets. Myles Gaskin for the Dolphins. N'Keal Harry is a Patriot. The Browns have Eric Metcalf. The Steelers have Benny Snell Jr. to 50. Jarrett Stidham /35 for the Patriots. Preston Williams, Dolphins. Roger Craig for the 49ers. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Eagles. Robert Smith, Vikings. Devin White, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. DK Metcalf for the Seahawks. You said so was Ryan Leaf in college. I guess, but I don't ever remember thinking that Ryan Leaf was a super dynamic kind of player, but I don't know. Jamal Williams for the Green Bay Packers. Emmanuel Hall. I forgot where he went already. I had to look him up before. I got to look him up again because I can't remember. The Bears. Undrafted free agent to the Bears. Why can't I remember that? Kyler Murray. The Arizona Cardinals. The guy who Brad and Rodney say just is going to be terrible, but we'll see. Deonte Thompson for the Cardinals. Trayvon Mullen for the Raiders. That one was not numbered, but it is a prism. Higdon. I had to look Higdon up a while ago too, and also have already forgotten him. So Karen Higdon. Undrafted free agent to the Texans. There's your other Trayvon Mullen for the Raiders. That one is numbered 250. And then we had Stanley Morgan Jr. for the Bengals. All right, so that is the break for tonight. That's our recap all lined up, finished up. I am going to put up the shipping information one final time, as well as the info about what's breaking in the days ahead for those of you who might have missed it earlier. And once again, my apologies for apparently there were a handful of teams where the time said 9:30. Most of the teams, I guess, probably said 9, but there were a few I must have forgotten to change the time to 9. So once again, I apologize to those of you who were affected by that. I am going to post the recap as soon as we finish up here, so it'll be available for you to go back and pick up the first part if you missed it. So one more time, expecting Legacy to be out the door and on the way to you approximately Friday. If I can get it out to you sooner than Friday, I absolutely will. And a final reminder that Veteran Base in here had its own bidding category and does not ship to the teams. Teams gets autographed, parallels, numbered cards, inserts, basically all the stuff we slow walked and talked about heads to the teams. Only the Veteran Base was not to the teams. So what's coming up in the days ahead? Tomorrow is the release day for Topps Finest Baseball. So we'll open a case of that tomorrow night, along with a Gold Rush autographed full-size football helmet and some Onyx Premier Gear Baseball. On Thursday, we'll start at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, and we'll open a half case of Tier 1 baseball. Those are loose boxes. Another 12-box case of Legacy Football, where once again, Veteran Base will not ship to the teams. It will have its own bidding category. We'll start at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Friday night is another 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific night because we have 2 new releases that night. Luminance Football from Panini and Flash Football from Leaf, both coming out on Friday. We'll bust a case of each. On Saturday, we're going to do 4 boxes of Bowman Jumbo Baseball. That's a half case. It's the back half of a case we started a few days ago. Paper base does not ship to the teams in that break. It is a separate bidding category. Teams are going to get all the Chrome cards, all the inserts, because all the inserts are Chrome cards, all numbered cards, and all autographed cards. On Sunday, we are one more time at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. It will be Leaf Flash Football and Panini Leather and Lumber Baseball, that little high-end product that came out last week, and we busted it the night it came out, and then I kind of forgot to relist it, so there it is. We'll open it again Sunday. That is it for me tonight. So as always, I thank you for being here. I hope I see you again soon, if not tomorrow night, maybe, hey, later in the week, hopefully. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll be back at it tomorrow night. We'll see you then. Bye now.